right. Greetings, everyone out there. Today we're going to focus on the flat earth theory. Is ridiculous. The flat earth theory is ridiculous. I guess I'm still trying to comprehend it. So this whole flat
You're trying to comprehend people's position, or why they even deal with it?
Why it's even an issue? Why it's even an issue?
Jump back to the 1400s, right?
Yeah, because right, didn't Christopher Columbus prove that the Earth is round?
Thought so.
So, because the Europeans thought the Earth was flat, right? He supposedly proved the Earth is round. And now people are having this discussion that this is so insane. This is 500 years later, and we're having this discussion whether or not the Earth is round or flat. And they're saying, here's what's crazy about it. They're saying the reason why they don't believe the Earth is, how can I say, round, because they say that everything the government that shows that the Earth is round, or science that shows the Earth is round, they're lying. That's the whole platform. So all the pictures we seen of space and the astronauts being in space, they say all that's a lie. All that's a lie, basically. Because that's the most credible evidence that we have, right? Seeing those pictures from space, how do you know? That's,
yeah, we talked about it. They have that live YouTube feed. The astronauts supposedly in outer space flying across the planet.
Yeah,
live feed.
Live feed.
They're saying that's a lie. That's not real.
That's
and it's like what do they say? The fisheye lens. It's not really a curve.
Yeah, whatever.
The
point is, they're saying the government is lying. NASA's lying. The scientists are lying. Everyone's lying. When you see all those films and imagery, they're all lying. And so, and then they say they're lying and the Earth is flat. Now, check the science out on this. If the government is lying, that's an elaborate hoax, right? That's been going on for the last 500 years. It's a real elaborate hoax, right? And we've been deceived and tricked, okay? So that would stand to reason that if these guys are going to tell us the government's lying, the Earth is not round, it's flat. Well, if we shouldn't believe the government, then why would we believe them? Shouldn't we require undeniable proof? Wouldn't that make sense? Why have a theory like that? This is why I'm saying the flat earth theory is absolutely ridiculous, because why even make the argument without absolute proof? Not theoretical proof that they had. That's all they got right now is theoretical proof. What about absolute proof that no one could deny?
Like your own videos, your own pictures, your own anything that substantiates that kind of thought. That's what we're saying.
Absolute proof. Why? I mean, if we got tricked by the government,
some people not gonna believe it unless they see it themselves.
Yeah, I give you that. I give you that. So that's the problem. What's the problem? The problem is belief. That's the problem itself, is belief. So by theory, no one should believe the flat earth guys either. If you're going to use their premise that they're trying to use. Now I have three pieces of advice that can help prove whether the theory is true or false. 3 pieces of advice. So next time somebody who's with a flat earth insanity concept, tell them to do one of these 3 things.
Or all 3?
Yeah, all 3.
All right, let's hear it.
One of these 3 things. Thing number 1, right? Thing number 1. Next time somebody comes with this flat earth theory, have them, and I don't know why they didn't do this by now, right? Interview as many astronauts you can find in the United States, in China, in Russia, anyone who's an astronaut who's been out of space anywhere in the world, Get them on tape. These are the one individuals who actually went out of space, and they actually seen it with their own eyes. So I think it would make sense to interview not just astronauts from the United States. Now, you got to get them from all over the world. So you can have varying cultures, different people from different space programs, right?
The first one's holding up their line.
I'm like, ask the astronauts, interview them. They got them on, because listen, they got the astronauts on tape to talk about UFOs, right? Who talked about it? Oh, what's that?
Buzz Aldrin.
Yeah, he talked about the UFOs. Yeah, it was like 3 of them.
Yeah.
Like the main astronauts. So get those guys, astronauts, anyone who's been out of space, basically, because the flat Earth guy said they didn't even go out of space. So you can even drill them on that.
And get them to get some lie detector tests or anything.
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear no airline pilot, because they got the airline pilot that's says I don't know. They got some airline. I think they got some airline pilots say no, the Earth is flat. Some silliness. No, get someone who said they was out of space and they was an astronaut that saw the Earth with their own eyes, right? The eyeball test. They saw it themselves. Seeing is knowing. So that's step one. So the next time somebody comes with that weird theory, where's the astronauts that they personally interviewed? Wouldn't that make sense? I think it would make sense. So that's the first thing, right? Second thing, you become an astronaut. That individual, become an astronaut. Prove whether or not they can be done. Prove it. Become an astronaut. Go through the training. If you got to move to, if you don't trust NASA, move to China. Become an astronaut there. Somewhere, somebody will take you. Or what's that guy? Virgin Records. That guy, he got his own ship.
What's that? Arizona or something?
Yeah, he got his own. He got
even what's the name? Tesla.
Yeah, exactly. Get with one of those guys, right? I think they're selling tickets. They're gonna be selling.
Yeah.
They're selling. Buy one of those tickets. I think it's like $250,000 or something like that to get a ticket.
Kyrie Irving, he one of the flat earthers. He got $250,000.
Yeah.
Get him to donate a couple tickets. Y'all prove it right there. Bring your cell phone.
And you eyeball test. The eyeball test. You can see it for yourself. That way you can come back and prove it, right? And have other people. We all can go, and everyone can take a trip. First we'll prove, because they don't even think that these rocket ships exist, that you can even go out of. So you can prove that one, right? And then you'll prove whether or not the Earth is round or not, because you'll be able to see it for yourself. Right?
That's right.
Okay, I got the third one. Now this one, anybody can do this one. Anybody can do this one.
Find the edge.
Huh?
Find the edge.
Yeah, it's simple. We're in Georgia, right? Here's all you got to do. All you got to do is walk a straight line. Okay? So what you do is this. If we was to go to Georgia, right? Go go to the coast of Georgia, which is Savannah. Go to the coast of Savannah. And it's it's like the middle, like we're in the middle, like of the planet. So this is a perfect location for anyone who wants to do this. Or you could do it on the coast of California if you're in California. But we're in Georgia, so anyone who's on the coast, go to the coast of Georgia. Get a boat. Get a boat, like Christopher Columbus did, right? Charter a boat, okay? And all you're gonna do is this: travel east. That's all you're gonna do. Travel east. And you ain't gonna stop traveling east until you wind up in Savannah. Okay?
Or fall off the earth.
Or you'll fall off the earth. Mm-hmm. So what happened is this. As soon as you get on a boat and you go from Savannah, you know where you're gonna wind up? In Morocco. If due east, if you look at the maps, Morocco is right there, basically. Or you're gonna be in Africa, bottom line. You're gonna be somewhere in Africa. Preferably navigate to Morocco from Georgia. As soon as you get to Morocco, rent a car, a van, a truck, or something, and keep going east. When you're in Morocco, you keep going east. You're gonna wind up in Egypt, right? You're gonna wind up in Egypt, guaranteed. And you're gonna keep going east. Keep going east. You're gonna pass Israel. Then you're gonna pass, I think, Iraq.
That's right.
Then you're gonna pass Iran, right? Keep going east. Then you're gonna wind up in India.
That's right.
As soon as you get to India, keep going east. Guess who we're gonna hit next?
China.
China. You're gonna get China, right? Keep going east. What you gonna hit next?
Well, the ocean and then.
Well, you gotta get in a boat. When you hit China, you get close to China, and you get in a boat and take it to Japan.
Japan.
Right. Go to Japan. When you're in Japan, keep going east.
Hawaii.
Yep, Hawaii.
From Japan, you get to Hawaii.
Or you fall off the earth then.
When you hit Hawaii, keep going east, right? And guess where you go from Hawaii?
Cali.
You go to California. When you get to California, get in the car, keep driving east, and you should be able to get to, I think it's Interstate 10. You take Interstate 10 and take you back to Savannah. Now, if you do that, you just prove the earth is round. Now, isn't that doable? Anybody can do that.
You shouldn't be able to get back to the same spot where if you go in the exact same direction.
If it's flat, it's impossible to do what I just said.
Mm-hmm.
If it's flat, and I gave you, in fact, that's the best route because you're hitting land. You're hitting countries that people live on, that people have been to. So you can prove, you can prove the map, whether or not the maps are accurate. You can prove a lot of stuff. All you gotta do is go due east. Due east. Don't do north to south because they said, you can't go to the North Pole, you can't go to the South Pole. You don't have to do that. Just keep going east. And I gave you the technique.
Which is a straight line.
Yeah, coast of Georgia. Just go due east. Keep traveling east. And don't stop traveling east until you wind up right back where you started at. Now, if it's flat, you're going to fall off the earth. You're going to fall off, right? You won't be able to do what I just said if it's flat.
That's right.
So.
And if it's circular, you shouldn't wind back up in the same spot if you're going.
It's impossible because that's a ball. If guys get a ball, I mean maybe we'll try to do a diagram. We'll do a diagram. So because we can't read it. That's third grade. I think you learn that in third grade, maybe second grade.
Well, I mean, nobody says that the educational systems are perfect, so maybe that's the problem.
I'm trying to figure out why these people debating these guys. They're literally debating these flat Earth guys. Like I think Farrell just had a debate with one of them, brother Reggie. I'm like, oh yeah, this is all you have to say. We're debating them for that. That's an insane debate. Prove it. Because that's proof. If you can travel one direction, preferably going east, or you can go west. You can do it the other way. If you're in California, just travel west. And do the same thing I just explained, and do it backwards the other way.
And if you keep going on the earth in a straight line, if it's a ball, then you'll wind back up in the same spot. And if you wind back up in the same spot, it can't be flat. If you go straight, yeah.
It has to be a ball. It's just like empire. Because it was like, you know, a straight, a flat surface. If you go a straight line, you're either gonna fall off. If it's a ball, if it's a straight line, you know, if you go a straight line, you're gonna wind up right where you started at. I mean, that's whatever. I guess. I hope that helps. I hope that explains why I said the flat Earth theory is just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Because, and I'm saying it's only ridiculous on a point, if you're going to argue that the government and all the people has been lying about that, then you require, how can I say?
Oh, that sounds like what Mikhail Kalkus said, like, great claims require great proof.
Extraordinary claims
require extraordinary proof. Extraordinary proof is not like 1,000-year-old manuscript talking about the Earth is flat. And it's not no theory either.
Yeah, right. You don't need that because you can do physical exams. I gave 3 examples of physical things that everyone could do. Right? The third one, that was the easiest, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. It's not that hard. I don't think it'll be that hard to interview the astronauts, though.
No, it shouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean,
that shouldn't be that hard to get them on tape.
I mean, they've already been given interviews.
But the key is you got to get astronauts from all over the planet to make it credible. You need the Chinese ones. You need the Russian ones.
Well, that'd be the trouble then. Going to get people, you know.
You can get it.
You can.
Remember the 6 degrees of separation?
That's right.
You can get to anybody on the planet. You can get to anybody on the planet. So it can be done. Interview those guys because they claim they did the eyeball test. They actually said they seen it with their own eyes that the Earth was round. Because I never heard a astronaut claim when they went out in space the Earth was flat. They never made that claim. So interview them, put them to the test, see if they confess. If that don't work, get a ticket yourself. Either join the astronaut program or buy a ticket from that guy Virgin or one of those guys and go out in space and prove it for you know.
We'll start with some basic questions. The sky is
in a world where it feels like nothing is as it seems.
blue.
It's blue, of course. Oh, the sky's blue.
The sky's blue.
1 + 1 is
2.
2. 2.
2.
There's at least one truth we thought was indisputable.
And the Earth is
Flat.
Flat.
the Earth is flat.
My reality, my senses tell me that the Earth is flat and stationary.
Or so I thought. But for the people attending the first Flat Earth International Conference here in Cary, North Carolina, their Earth indisputably is not round.
Everybody here can agree on absolutely one thing, which is it is not a globe.
For centuries, a flat Earth was accepted as certainty until science and sailboats said otherwise.
One of the rules of power is you never admit that there's someone bigger than yourself.
But it wasn't until 2015 when this guy, Mark Sargent, posted his flat Earth clues.
Part of a series of clues that can help you get your head around both the design of the flat Earth system we live in.
You're kind of the father of this movement.
Boy,
how would you?
Don't do
You're
that.
the one who sort of started it all.
I did not invent flat Earth. All I did was walk up to a door, point at it, say, you know what? I think there's some really interesting things on the other side of this, and check it out for yourself. If flat Earth is a university, FEA, then I would be the freshman recruiter.
People have traveled from around, actually, Mark would say, across the flat world to attend.
The first rule of Flat Club is you don't talk about Flat Club.
Until now.
I have a poem about that. It's right here.
Amy Nicholson wrote a book of poetry about her flat Earth journey.
A few months flat and 7 months to rally.
Kim Gurley came to the conference from Houston.
I haven't really come out all the way yet. I'm still a little in the closet.
The North Pole's in the middle.
Lainey Innevale came from even farther.
I mixed with quite a lot of flat earthers in New Zealand.
You know Flat Earthers, I guarantee it. But you don't know who they are because they're afraid of talking about it.
1, 2, 3. We're not crazy!
Like many modern movements, this one has grown in large part out of the internet, with rappers like Odd TV evangelizing to hundreds of thousands of subscribers.
No more living on a cartoon ball.
And YouTube channels like
Globebusters.
encouraging skepticism about what you've been taught. For the serious students here at the conference,
And this has got to a point now where it's becoming real.
it all comes down to proof.
When it comes to science, there's things you can test right now, right? Fire burns, water's wet, drop something, falls to the ground, that appears to be gravity. Those are things you can test, right?
But the curving horizon, the sloping sea level, the spin of the Earth, unless you can see these phenomena with your own eyes, they may not be true.
A lot of people are going, this is
crazy, right? But think about this. For the last 20, 25 generations, this is what we've told people.
Unlike what we've been told in school, some flat earthers imagine the Earth looks like a snow globe, round but not sphere. The North Pole is at the center of most flat Earth maps, with the ice of Antarctica holding everything in.
So are you certain this is what the Earth looks like?
Pretty sure. Almost. I mean, there are some details to be worked out, sure, but the basic concept is sound. Absolutely sound. And one thing, again, we absolutely know for a fact, this ain't it.
So those iconic blue marble images seen from space, flat earthers denounce them as fakes.
You start seeing words like composite or animation or something that tells you this is not an actual photograph of the Earth.
Yes, question.
So if you think you have questions,
Feel free to line up and ask them while I'm reading the opening statement.
the flat earthers have many, many more.
This is what returns to Earth.
Which is why I thought someone who's actually seen the Earth from space might have some answers.
1 + 1 is?
2,
What color is the sky?
blue,
And the Earth is?
round, just like it is here, this model of it.
Professor Mike Massimino spent more than 20 days in space and worked on the Hubble telescope.
So when you looked at the planet, what did it look like?
It looks round, folks. It is round. My eyewitness account, and I looked at it as much as I could. It is round.
Okay, we're in the final countdown. How you doing over there?
He's played himself on the Big Bang Theory, but some flat earthers actually believe astronauts are just actors, part of a huge conspiracy going back to those very first steps on the moon.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
You don't believe that they've gone to space?
No, not at all. The rockets go up, sure. There's nobody in them.
So tell me, Neil, is the Earth flat?
We have video from space of the rotating spherical Earth. The Earth is round.
Thank you for joining us on this episode.
What's odd is there are people who think Earth is flat,
right?
But recognize that the moon is round. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and the sun are all spheres, but Earth is flat. That's not, something doesn't square.
Something doesn't jive, right?
Okay. Plus, in my latest book, ooh, did I just plug my book?
Wait, your latest book is called Astrophysics for People in a Hurry. What? We just happen to have a copy right here.
No, it just happens to be. I swear we didn't plant the book. I have an entire chapter titled On Being Round.
Oh.
And it's an exploration of how all the laws of physics and the accounting of energy as processes unfold in the universe, how that conspire to make things round.
So it favors the sphere.
Favors a sphere, yes.
Right.
And if something's not a sphere, it's a little bit flattened, you can ask what flattened it, and you find out, oh, it's rotating real fast.
Right.
So then it gets a little flattened because of that.
Right.
And so almost everything in the universe is either spheres or slight distortions of a sphere for some other thing that's happening to it. I mean, we can just see how the universe favors spheres.
So it's nature.
Right.
Basically,
nature.
the universe.
Now, in all fairness to the people who want a flat Earth.
Yes, let's be fair to those people.
Okay. In Columbus's day, there was surely a flat Earth contingent. Okay?
Yes.
Columbus predates the era of experimental checking of any idea you might have.
Not a lot of peer-reviewed studies back in the day.
Back in the day.
Kind of just like...
You just say whatever you felt.
You know what? I believe that elephant poop will cure cancer.
There you go.
That's right. Wrote a paper about it. Like to read it? Here it is. And you're good, right?
Right. So it wasn't until Francis Bacon, Galileo, in the 1600s, where the idea that if you're going to say something and you think what you're saying is true, then no matter how obvious you think it is that it's true, you should still test it.
Gotcha.
There could be something fooling you in one way or another. So if you want to say Earth is flat, then, for example, lunar eclipses. What's a lunar eclipse? If your face is the brilliant sun.
Thank you.
And this is Earth, and the moon is over here, the sun is always casting Earth's shadow into space. It's always there no matter what.
Right.
Obviously, okay? It's just a shadow.
It's a shadow.
The moon
it's
occasionally...
just a shadow shining on blackness.
Yeah, a shadow in darkness.
A shadow in darkness.
So the moon occasionally passes through that shadow. And if you see the shape of Earth's shadow on the moon, it is always round. Always round. If Earth were flat, sometimes you get like a flat shadow.
Right.
And we've never seen a flat shadow.
Right.
In fact, it is a segment of a arc of a circle, no matter the orientation of the moon and the sun. And the only thing that makes a perfectly circular shadow
would be something that's perfectly circular.
Perfectly spherical.
Spherical.
Yes. So the only thing that makes a perfect circle shadow every single time is a perfect sphere.
Right.
Okay? No matter what angle
No matter
you
where
shine. Whereas a disk, it would only make a perfect circle if you lined it that way.
Right.
And
so
then
you have to look at the face of the disc in order to get the circle.
The circle. If
any
any
other angle,
you get other shapes.
something of another
The
shape.
Greeks knew this.
Right.
All the lunar eclipses they said, oh my gosh, we must be in a round Earth. This is thousands of years,
Before
2,000 years
Columbus.
before Columbus. Exactly.
Right.
So now if the Earth is round, how big is Earth? You might want to check for that. There was a famous experiment conducted by Eratosthenes. Eratosthenes. And there are two cities in the old world, and one of them, they knew that at 12 noon on a particular day of the year, that the sun was directly overhead and you could see the bottom of a well.
Oh, okay.
You don't run around looking at the bottoms of wells.
No.
Because the light doesn't take, it's just, no.
Doesn't get down there.
Doesn't get down there.
How can we use this observation to see if Earth's surface is curved? We needed another well. Turns out we can't see the bottom of both wells at the same time. What might explain this? Well, there are two possible explanations. First, we could have a flat Earth with the sun that's small and close by, so that the light hits the second well at an angle. Or second, we could have a curved Earth with a sun that's big and far away, so that all the light comes in parallel, but only one well at a time is lit all the way to the bottom. Turns out with just two wells, there's enough wiggle room for both explanations to fit our observations. Eratosthenes only had two wells, but what if he had added a third? With a third well, it doesn't matter where the sun is. No flat Earth model can explain the angles of all three shadows, but the spherical model explains it all three angles, with ease.
And to do this experiment, you got to measure the angles. Greeks had the angles.
Yeah.
Okay, in fact, geometry translates to Earth measurement. So one last thing, which should be obvious,
okay,
if you pay attention and think about it. If you send a ship straight to the horizon,
right,
eventually it begins to disappear until it's no longer visible beyond your horizon.
Right.
And you should ask yourself, what kind of surface would produce that result?
The ocean,
if it's
the ocean has a ramp. It's like a parking lot. The ocean has a ramp.
And it's an elevator.
Yeah, it's an elevator. And, you get to a certain point, and they're just like going down.
Seafarers knew this.
Right.
And so, however flat they would have imagined the Earth to be, they couldn't have accepted it to be completely flat, because otherwise you would never not see the ship. Okay. Also, if I just tell you, Chuck, walk due east, okay?
Right.
And don't ever stop.
Right.
I just turn around my chair and face this way, and eventually you're going to come back.
Right. And you'll probably be about 150 years old, because I am no Forrest Gump. That is how long it would take me to run the Earth.
For me, the fact that there's a rise of flat earthers is evidence of two things.
Okay. One.
One, we live in a country that protects free speech.
That's actually kind of awesome.
And two, we live in a country with a failed educational system.
Ooh, that one hurt.
Our system needs to train you not only what to know, but how to think about information and knowledge and evidence. If we don't have that kind of training, you'd run around believe anything.
Anything.
Anything.